by Tim O'Brien. He's a former veteran at Vietnam, and he's seen a lot of things. He's experienced a lot of things in his Alpha squad. And next. Alright, that's a summary. I don't know if I should read it out. You want me to read it out loud?
Sure.
Alright. Tim O'Brien illustrates events and key experience in the Vietnam War. The things they carried, literally limbs. The variety of things his squad of soldiers and his Alpha company brought on their missions. Some things are intangible, like fear, guilt, anger. Others are physical objects, in particular matches, morphine, M16s, marijuana, and M&Ms. For some odd reason, he gets very well in detail by putting their specific weights. I usually don't see that in books where they say, oh, he carried an M16, 21 pounds, 34 ounces in bullets, and all those kind of things. Just that's his way of showing like the burdens and what they actually carry. So like in his title, he literally means what is like the question, like the things they carry is like basically you're trying to figure out what things, what tangible and intangible things they were carrying. And they is the veterans, like the squad members and people who actually lived through Vietnam. And so, the characters, they're real. Some of them are made up. But, like, the stories within the characters are made up. But, like, throughout the stories, they have a different view. Like, there's a view of the Indians there, and, like, how they played a role there. There's Indians, like, there's views of anarchists and what they've done there. You know, like, the people who love killing. And basically he has a whole variety of all these characters. And the main one is Jimmy Cross. He's like the captain. He takes care of the whole squad. And throughout the story, he's always longing for this girl named Martha. And like in particular, Martha is Tim O'Brien's daughter's name. And so I was thinking, what does that mean? Is he trying to connect himself from Tim O'Brien to this squad member? And yeah, alright. So the first picture I got was the American Wailing Wall, and I try to represent this like this is Tim O'Brien, you know, longing over the veterans and other squad members. And it's funny because those are like the exact amount of squad members over there. They had a black guy, they had an Indian, they had 2 white, and a recon. So they're right there. And like I try to put like a symbolism. Like the symbolism here is where this lady right here, you know how she's away from the whole squad. I try to put that into Martha because he was always longing for Martha throughout the whole war, and he just thought, if I survive, I'm doing this so I can meet my daughter. I'm doing this so I can meet the love of my life. Yes, that's it. We get from here. Okay. This picture didn't have no title or anything, but I try to put this with like I try to connect this with Lieutenant Cross, because once one of the person, his name is Lavender, he died. Like he used to smoke weed all the time. He was like that kind of crazy person you used to like think of like the person who was always bringing the spirit in everybody. But once he died, he thought Cross thought it was his fault, so he completely lost his mind. Completely lost his mind. He was always longing for Martha. He was burning pictures. He was just losing it basically. And so when he was losing it, he didn't know what to tell the squad, and the squad was just dying out. So like every story that Tim O'Brien was doing in the beginning, people were dying. But then in the middle, somehow they were brought back to life, and their stories kept following. And that's a really cool, creative way of writing things. The thing that I really that really meant a lot was the bad stuff never stops happening. Replaying, like there's more to it, but it replays itself over and over. So that means even though, whether it's the beginning, middle, or end of his life, he's always going to see the bad things. He's always going to see what happened in that war. He's always going to relive those experiences. And I'm not saying it's like post-traumatic stress disorder, but I'm just saying like whatever happens to you in the war is always going to stay throughout your life. Next. Alright, this one's called Why. It's a pretty odd title, but it's whatever the author wanted to put. Another big sentence was the things about remembering is that you don't forget. So going back to the idea that that even in the time of war, where deadly things are always going to be happening, whether that's anger or death, there will always be life and a new future in the end. Because it's always going to be a natural precursor. And so I try to, again, use symbolism or an extended metaphor into putting like I try to represent this with Tim O'Brien, how he's living in peace and harmony, and black and white to represent like the darkness and the happiness, but then again, the death and the new life that was out there. And, there's more images inside the book, and I'm trying to tell you, like, this book is very, very interesting. Like, I never seen this kind of creative writing style in a way where people come back to life. I mean, we probably seen that Slaughterhouse 5, how like people die and whatever, and they come back to like the Transformers, or we come. But what's it called? There's many characters that represent something, even though they're not real. Like Linda, she's a real person that Tim O'Brien personally had an experience with. So like in 5th grade, it was one of his lovers, and she died of a brain tumor, and she represents throughout the whole book, even though she's dead, she represents life before death, and that's one of the main themes out there, is where even though there's death always going to be happening around you, life is always going to be a natural thing. And so the main theme we're supposed to get out of here is, even though bad things happen, there's always going to be light out of everything. And Martha, which is his daughter, represents the middle part of what people don't actually see. Like these new people, like new children, they probably haven't seen the Vietnam War or even know about it yet. So they don't know what the hardships are. And so a real life person who experienced all that really wrote this book, like Tim O'Brien, in order to give out that information that this was real, you know? And so I guess that's it so far.